Once upon a time lived a boy named Christopher. He lived in a small village at the edge of a forest with his older sister and uncle. Christopher was the owner of a most spectacular riding hood. His grandma, who was a very talented fashion designer, had made it especially for him. The villagers were very fond of Christopher, and they would sometimes call him Little Red Riding Dude. They were always happy to see him, as he was very polite and friendly. He would often be helping the villagers out. And they all loved seeing what Christopher would be wearing at the village's annual Pride Festival, as he would more than likely be dressed in something fantastic. Christopher loved this festival as it celebrated everyone and everybody. It was a day to be proud. One morning, Christopher was sat having breakfast with his family when... "Oh my goodness!" Christopher's uncle shouted, whilst accidentally spraying them with his coffee. "Today is the village's annual Pride Festival, and I completely forgot. I was meant to deliver this new material to Grandma so she could make decorations and costumes. Please, Christopher, will you take it to her so she can get started?" "Of course, Uncle," Christopher replied. He was happy to help and loved seeing his grandma. "Thank you, Christopher," said his uncle, "and we will see you there later." Christopher neatly folded the package of material into his basket and was on his way. He couldn't wait to help with the preparations. Christopher had been walking a short while when it started to rain. It was turning out to be a very wet and windy day, but Christopher's riding hood was keeping him protected. After a little while, the rain and wind was too much, even for Christopher's riding hood, so he took shelter under a nearby tree. He sat down and waited for the rain to stop. Christopher was just thinking about what outfit he could wear this year when he heard faint sobbing. He looked behind him, and there on the ground was one very upset wolf. Christopher disliked seeing anyone upset, so he called out to the wolf. "Hey there, what's wrong? Are you hurt?" The wolf looked surprised. He had clearly thought no one would find him crying here. "Oh no, please excuse me. I just had something in my eye." "Oh," said Christopher. He knew something was wrong, but he didn't want to pry. "My name's Christopher, or sometimes I'm called Little Red Riding Dude. I really like your dress, by the way." The wolf was wearing the most beautiful dress Christopher had ever seen. It was a lovely shade of red. The wolf looked a little happier after Christopher's compliment. "Why, thank you," he said. "I made it myself. Oh, and I'm Mr. Wolf, by the way." "Well, Mr. Wolf," said Christopher, "it's wonderful." It was still very windy and rainy, so Christopher sat and talked with Mr. Wolf. He hoped that he could continue to cheer him up. After a while, the pair had shared stories, experiences, their likes and dislikes, and had even shared Christopher's lunch. Christopher learnt that Mr. Wolf had many brothers and sisters, all of whom had an opinion about Mr. Wolf's fashion choices. Some disliked it, some found it confusing, and some were even angry. They just couldn't understand why a wolf would want to wear a dress. Sometimes they said mean things, and although it did not hurt Mr. Wolf physically, it hurt him inside. "So you are hurt?" said Christopher. "Yes," said Mr. Wolf. "I was only trying to be myself," he sighed. "I don't want to confuse or make anyone angry. Perhaps it would be better if I didn't wear this dress and if I tried to be like the others." "No," Christopher jumped up. "Don't you dare. You are Mr. Wolf," Christopher continued, "and you mustn't let anyone else decide who you are. Whoever your heart tells you to be, then that is just fine." "But are you sure it's okay?" asked Mr. Wolf. "It's more than okay. It's wonderful," Christopher answered. "Don't you think it's fantastic how unique we all are? We need to embrace our differences. Be proud of who you are, Mr. Wolf." "Thank you, Little Red Riding Dude," said Mr. Wolf. "You've made me feel a lot better." After a while, Christopher noticed the rain had stopped. "Hey, Mr. Wolf," said Christopher. "Why don't you come with me to Grandma's house? We could use your talents to help with the decorations and costumes." "Oh, I'd love to help," said a very excited Mr. Wolf. So off they hurried to Grandma's house, as they didn't have long before the big event would begin. They soon arrived outside Grandma's. Mr. Wolf was a little worried. He hoped Grandma would be as nice as Christopher. "Don't worry, Mr. Wolf," said Christopher. "My Grandma is the nicest person I know." They both peeped through the window, and there was Grandma and Christopher's family all busy at work. "We must have been talking for longer than I realised," said Christopher. "At least we didn't get wet," smiled Mr. Wolf, who was still a little nervous. "Hello, Grandma. Hello, everyone," said Christopher as he walked through the door. "This is my new friend, Mr. Wolf." "Oh, my goodness!" exclaimed Grandma. "Oh, no," thought Mr. Wolf after hearing Grandma's reaction. "I should have just stayed in the woods." But then, that dress! It's beautiful!" It was Grandma. "Sorry, Mr. Wolf, I hope I didn't startle you," she continued, "but I've never seen such a beautiful dress. Where did you get it?" "He made it himself," Christopher piped in. "Why, Mr. Wolf," said Grandma, "what a great talent you have! And what fabulous style you have! And what an eye for detail you have!" "All the better for helping to make costumes," Christopher chimed in again. "Why, yes," said Grandma. And it wasn't long before a very happy wolf was gladly helping to make costumes. "Why, Christopher, this material is even more wonderful than I expected," a very pleased Grandma said. And in no time at all, Mr. Wolf, Christopher and his family were down in the village setting up for the big festival. "What a great day for the festival," thought Christopher. And he was right, because Mr. Wolf had never felt so proud to just be himself. A short while later. A short while later, in the centre of town, a wolf did stand firmly, wearing a gown. For a party had started, which drew quite a crowd. It was a day for us all, a day to be proud. And even some wolves had slipped in the back, because they missed their brother and they wished for him back. "We love him so much," is what they had thought. So they came to say sorry, and they came to support, because they had just realised, and this I must stress, that it matters not if a wolf wears a dress. For clothes are just clothes, and a good place to start, to help show who you are and what's in your heart. So just be yourself and share what's inside. Remember, you're special and always have pride.